What up, everybody? What up, everybody? What up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of AC Reviews the World. I am your host, AC the Engineer, and we are at episode. What episode we at? We are at episode 90. Hold on. What do we? No, get back right. We are at episode 90. Round of applause. Yep. Episode 90, getting closer and closer to episode 100. Don't know what we're going to do yet, but we're just going to be playing it by ear, however I feel that day. I'll map it out to see exactly when we're going to hit that day. Might do an extra long episode. Might take you into my world. I don't know. We'll decide when we get there. But welcome back to another episode, y'all. You already know this is the show where we talk about some crazy things. Where we look at some crazy news reports. And just what's going on in society today. And we just go through and see what we think about it and review the world together. Like always, we got 4 topics we're going to go over. 4 topics. And we're talking about today some crazy topics, some crazy things. Just run through them a little bit so we can get a little preview. So we got the Sterling High School. So it looks like there was a deadly fight. We covered that yesterday. But we get more information. We get to see what the kid looks like. And we actually, there's a report about how the fight started. So we'll get over to that. And you know, if, as kids, this is a stupid reason. So, but we're going to get over into that. And then we got 3 people have been charged for the murder of a toddler. 2-year-old toddler. Very sad. So we're going to get over into that and see what all that's about. Child abuse is something, is a serious thing and a serious problem. But next, we're going to get over into a Navy sailor who ended up killing 2 of his roommates. I don't know what all that's about. I know roommates can be frustrating sometimes, but to kill 2 of his roommates, we're going to see what that is about. And lastly, we're going to be talking about a woman who killed 2 of her ex-husbands. I wonder what the marriage was like. I wonder why they got divorced. There's a lot of questions I have, but we're going to get over into that and see what we can find out. But you know how I like to do it. Let's jump right into it. Had to do a little to it. Let's jump right into it, y'all. The first thing, like I said, we're going to be covering today is the Sterling High School deadly fight. So let's get over into that. We got 2 videos to look at, and then we're going to get into an article. So let's jump over into that and see what we can find out. Oh, wrong screen. See my little magic behind the scenes. Let's get over into it, though. Let's see what it's talking about.
Well, an 18-year-old has just been charged with murder after a deadly stabbing on campus at a Baytown high school. That suspect accused of stabbing this student you see here, 16 years old, with scissors, while Goose Creek CISD is staying pretty quiet about this investigation. You heard from KPRC2 First Hour. Breaking news alert reached phones across Houston just over 30 minutes ago. KPRC2 News reporter Bryce Newberry is live at Sterling High School with the calls for change. Bryce.
Yeah, Keith, we'll get to those in just a moment, but tonight, more than 24 hours after this on-campus killing, tonight we know that the Harris County District Attorney's Office has just accepted a charge of murder against 18-year-old Andre Matthews. He is the student accused of fatally stabbing his own classmate in a classroom here yesterday, and tonight families are upset, demanding accountability.
Now, quick question. We're not going to stop it too much, but is this a learned behavior that's picked up from the parents? Or is he just a bad kid? I always ask that question because it's always going through my mind. But let's keep going.
At Baytown Sterling High School Thursday,
he just made everybody smile. He didn't deserve it at all.
It just hurt. I didn't get to see him. I didn't get to hold him.
Students filled with grief protested after the on-campus killing of 16-year-old Andrew Meismer.
Andrew was my everything. He was my boyfriend.
Ikel Fevrier joined other students and parents, including his family, who were upset with the way Goose Creek CISD has handled the case. One sign reading, he was just 16.
What do you think the school, in terms of how the school has handled it so far?
Horribly. People saw my boyfriend get murdered, and the school was only on hold for 30 minutes.
During a fight Wednesday morning, 18-year-old Andre Matthews allegedly used a pair of scissors to stab Meismer. He had to be flown to the hospital and eventually passed away.
I was already scared because I don't want to send my kid to school and then she gets killed by, gun violence or whatever. But now I have to be worried about scissors because the school is not, controlling the situation before it gets this bad.
Protesters claim Matthews had a history of discipline at Sterling and shouldn't have been allowed at the school. The district superintendent in a statement wrote that he's aware of an online image that appears to be Matthews' disciplinary history, but urged exercising discretion when relying on information circulated on social media, regardless of its source. School business continued as usual Thursday, with some students taking finals.
It's like there's no compassion. Like someone died, a child died in your school, and you don't care.
Justice for Andrew!
Amid calls for justice, students also want change.
And I feel like I was robbed, and if people did their jobs better, then he would still be here.
Now, it's understandable she feels like that, and however the situation is, we don't know. They haven't really said exactly what the fight was about, but we'll get into an article about that in a second. But no matter what, this is something that shouldn't be happening in schools. Why there should be no fight. I never understood. School is a place for learning. Yes, there's going to be bullying that happens. We don't know exactly the whole situation, but it's not a place where kids should be fighting, kids should be bullying, kids should be and killing. It's a crazy thing. Let's keep going.
And the superintendent's message is lengthy. The information tonight is limited, but he is promising transparency in this investigation. You can read that full statement at click2houston.com. As for the teen murder suspect in this case, Matthews, records show he is still booked into the Baytown jail. We do expect, though, at some point for him to be transferred to the Harris County Joint Processing Center. That's downtown, where eventually he will go before a judge. Of course,
now he is in court, so let's get over into that next video.
Breaking right now, the suspect accused of stabbing a 16-year-old student at Baytown Sterling High School now being held on a $3 million bond for murder. 18-year-old Andre.
$3 million bond. Yeah, it's good to keep him in there. But at this point, should it just be no bond? That's what my thing. Let's keep
Matthews appeared before a judge for the first time today. You can see that video right on the right side of your screen there. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Ugochi Iloka. Right now, we are also learning brand new details as what to really led up to this fight that ultimately ended in the 16-year-old student's death there, ended his life. Now we have team coverage for you this afternoon, but let's start first with Jalissa Garza, who is live inside the Harris County Courthouse with those brand new details. Jalissa, what can you tell us?
Hey, Ugochi, good afternoon. That's exactly right. The suspect in this case that we have all been watching very closely, 18-year-old Andre Matthews, did appear before a judge not long ago. Let me go ahead and break down for you what we learned inside of the courtroom. But first, go ahead and take a look at your screen. This is video we got this morning of Andre Matthews arriving here in Harris County under police escort after being transferred from Baytown. It was something we were waiting for all morning long. And according to court records, Matthews is formally charged with murder in the death of 16-year-old Andrew Meismer. Now, inside the courtroom, prosecutors allege the stabbing happened during a fight inside Sterling High School, saying the argument started over a $21 vape pen.
I do find probable cause. Your bond is set at $3 million, and we will see you next year for the 11D hearing.
$21, and he throws away his life as an 18-year-old. $21. That is what society has gone to. But let's keep going.
Now, Matthews does remain in custody at this moment. He will be back in court on January 7th, where his bond will be rediscussed. Now, we did also hear from the defense attorney who says he's going to be combing through surveillance video. Of course, we'll continue our coverage on this story, and we'll have more on our extended noon newscast coming up on KHOU 11+. For now, reporting in downtown Houston, Jalissa Garza, KHOU 11 News.
Over a vape pen. Unbelievable. Thank you, Jalissa. Our team coverage continues this afternoon with Devon Roming live outside Baytown Sterling High School. What's going on there, Devon? They're protesting, where students are protesting against the school and district. Devon.
Hey, Ugochi. Yeah, so the crowd behind me is made up of both students and parents that have been out here for several hours now making their voices heard. The crowd is a little smaller than it was when we got out here about 2 hours ago, now that school is out for the day. But, you know, the folks who are out here right now, you know, they say that they're out here really showing support for both families involved in the tragic death of 16-year-old Andrew Meismer. Now, many of them have been chanting, "Long live Andrew, we need change." Also, justice for Andrew. Many of the students we spoke with today say they're angry and frustrated, claiming they've raised concerns about safety in the past, but feel those warnings were ignored by the school and the district. They're now calling for accountability, saying the system in place for students to report concerns haven't been taken seriously. And students say this protest is about demanding change and making sure they feel safe on campus. Now, moments ago, we actually got to speak with E.90. She's a student here at Sterling High School, and she's also Andrew's girlfriend. Here's what she had to say about her high school sweetheart.
He had deep connections with everyone, and I'm trying not to only think of myself right now, and also support everyone who loved him.
Now, in speaking with her, she shared these pictures with us capturing their young love of only just 4 months, and she described him as an all-around goofball and a clown. In fact, some of the students out here today were wearing clown makeup because they say Andrew used to wear a clown costume from time to time in school simply to keep smiles on everyone's faces and to spread joy and love with everyone he met. Now, back out here live, many here also say they're rallying around Andrew's family as well as the Matthews family and the victim's girlfriend, who you just heard from, standing together as the community continues to mourn. Of course, we're going to have much.
No matter what happened, it is true that two families have been greatly affected. One because the one son did a horrible thing, and then the other because the son was killed. So it's a horrible thing no matter what it is. But let's get over into an article so we can see a little bit more and hear a little bit more about the fight. So let's get over into that. So let's look at Eyewitness News. So the fight over a $21 vape pen. So Andrew, 18, is facing murder charges in the stabbing of death of Andre. So you see, there's too many Andre. So Andre, 18 years old, is facing murder charges in the stabbing death of Andrew after officials say the fight was between two students escalated during science class. Incident began with a fight over a $21 vape pen that Matthew had sold to Andrew. So Andre sold that to Andrew. That day, two students were reportedly excused from class to use the restroom, where their fight began over the vape pen. So court records said that they were in the bathroom, and Matthew searched Mercer's pockets for the vape pen, but it did not find it. But he found a pair of scissors that he put in his waistband. The two of them went into the science lab, where a teacher, after hearing another student yell "help," found Matthew had Mercer's in a chokehold, according to the documents. The teacher tried to intervene, but Mercer had already been stabbed with the scissors Matthew had found in see, I might be saying his last name wrong. I'm sorry about that. But it's found that in Andrew's pockets. So main thing, they got into a fight over a vape pen. Andre searched Andrew's pockets for it, but he found the scissors instead. Somehow they ended up getting into a fight. Andre stabbed him with the scissors and put him in a chokehold. And that's when the teachers found him. ABC has heard several students say that Andre had a lengthy disciplinary record at the school, including prior incidents with violence. Many students said the death could have been prevented, and they have been protesting since, again, on Friday. They said the counselors are available. So Goose Creek said the counselors are available and released a statement saying, in part, that they take student behavior very seriously and work diligently to address concerns as they arise. Of course, you know, they're going to get the normal spiel so they don't get sued. That's the main thing they want to do. Online records show Andre has been in jail since Wednesday. Absolutely crazy situation. Over a $21 vape pen. For some reason, I guess he tried to search his pockets to get it back. He found the scissors. I don't know what happened in between that, but they got into a fight. For some reason, Andre stabbed Andrew. Stabbed him and put him in a chokehold, or put him in a chokehold and then stabbed him. We don't know what happened exactly, how it happened, but 18-year-old threw away his life. Threw away his life. Absolute crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation. How much time do you think he's going to get? Let's be realistic about it. How much time do you think he's going to get? Do you think he'll get life? He might get, will he get life? It depends on what the lawyer says. It depends on what the defense attorney says. He might spin it in a way to try to say that he was defending himself, self-defense. So it depends on what the jury believes from the situation, because unless somebody else was watching it, at the end of the day, unless they can prove it differently with an autopsy, it's going to be based on what Andre, the still living kid, the 18-year-old, says, unless somebody's seen it. But let me know your thoughts on that situation, y'all. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It's a crazy situation, absolute crazy situation. But we're going to pivot over into the next topic that we're going to be talking about today. Something nobody wants to talk about. 3 people have been charged for murdering a toddler, a 2-year-old toddler. So we're going to get over to that. We got 2 videos to look at. So let's jump over into it. See what we can find out. It's a tragic situation anytime a child is killed, but a toddler, and then I think one of them was her guardian as well, or boyfriend of the guardian, something where they were close. So let's get over into it and see what we can find out from this situation. Absolutely crazy. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Oh, let's see. Look, I'm messing up. Sorry about this, y'all. Gotta get it right. There you go.
A Philadelphia man charged tonight in the murder of a 2-year-old girl. Prosecutors say the little girl was beaten to death by the mother's boyfriend. Our Chris O'Connell has the disturbing details.
The Philadelphia district attorney says 2-year-old Kimani Bean was brutally beaten inside a South Philadelphia home last week. Her mother's boyfriend has now been charged with her murder. 2 others have also been arrested in connection with her death.
By all indications, she was being a 2-year-old. Right? I mean, what could a 2-year-old do to possibly deserve this? The answer is nothing.
With pain in their voices, prosecutors describing little Kimani Bean, the innocent 2-year-old girl who they say died after a severe beating at the hands of her mother's boyfriend, identified as 21-year-old Sean Hernandez, who also goes by Rafi Gorham.
She obviously...
Back it up a tad bit. I'm not going to stop it too much, but ladies, be careful who you decide to bring into your children's life. And then, because when you give them discipline is a thing that you have to think about, because if you, especially as the man of the household, you would, my honest opinion is that the man of the household is the one who usually disciplines the children. But letting where's the father at? That's a question. But let's keep going.
21-year-old Sean Hernandez, who also goes by Rafi Gorham.
She obviously had signs of a very serious beating. There's also indications that there perhaps were objects used. We also have preliminary information that perhaps her airway was compromised, and perhaps she was suffocated in some way.
It happened back on December 8th when police were called after the little girl was found unresponsive in the basement of Hernandez's home on the 2100 block of Beechwood Street in South Philadelphia. 2 others, 20-year-old Alicia McNeil and 21-year-old Anthony Lowry, are also charged with lying to police about what happened. District Attorney Larry Krasner fighting back tears.
This is a brutal beating that, by all indications, caused the death of this child. The beating came from the mother's boyfriend.
Although she hasn't been charged, prosecutors say the toddler's mother was also in the home at the time. The little
I was just about to ask about the mother. Let's keep...
girl's father posted this tribute to Kimani on Facebook. Investigators say the beating may not have been the first time.
Obviously, we know this is a physical assault. We believe that it happened that day, but there's also indication that perhaps this was an ongoing situation that, unfortunately, this little girl had to endure.
Sean Hernandez.
I can't imagine how the father, well, I don't know if he was actually in her life or not, but if he was, I can't imagine how the father would feel knowing another man. I don't know what he was trying to think. He was disciplining her or just abusing her. Oh my God, that's enough to make someone crash out. I can't even lie about it. Let's keep going.
Hernandez remains in jail tonight pending his next court appearance on January 5th. Kimani's father has created a GoFundMe page to help cover funeral expenses of his little girl he calls his sunshine. Chris O'Connell, Fox 29 News.
Absolutely crazy. Let's go over into the next video.
Now at 5, 3 people have been charged in connection with the alleged beating death of a toddler in South Philadelphia. Police say the girl's body was found last week in the basement of a home.
Tonight, Sean Hernandez faces murder charges. Alicia McNeil and Anthony Lowry both face obstruction of justice charges in the case as well.
Thursday night, the big story on Action News is the charges in a disturbing crime that claimed the life of a 2-year-old girl.
Action News has learned the most serious charge of murder was filed against the boyfriend of the girl's mother. Action News reporter John Paul live on South Beechwood Street in South Philadelphia with the details. John.
Rick Shari, police say there were 4 adults in the house at the time on December 8th when this beating happened to 2-year-old Kimani Bean. Now, they say that 3 of those adults have now been charged, including the mother's boyfriend. 2 others, they say, lied to police about what happened inside the home just a few doors down. This is the man police say beat an innocent 2-year-old girl to death. 21-year-old Sean Hernandez faces multiple charges tonight, including murder.
You like it? No, wait, I'm going to pause it for a second. We're not going to pause it too much. But does he not look... I'm not even going to say it. Let's keep
1-year-old Sean Hernandez faces multiple charges tonight, including murder.
You like it?
2-year-old Kimani Bean, who loved dancing in her unicorn blanket, was found unresponsive on December 8th in the basement of this house on South Beechwood Street in South Philadelphia. Now investigators say she was beaten to death while 4 adults were in the home.
We should be outraged. What happened to this 2-year-old?
District Attorney Larry Krasner held a news conference today to announce the charges, at times wiping away tears.
You don't have to be a parent.
Investigators say Hernandez was the mother's boyfriend. They say he beat the child while the mother was in the home, but she is not facing charges.
Wow. She was severely beaten and suffered severe and significant physical injuries all over her body. But there's also indication that perhaps this was an ongoing situation that unfortunately this little girl had to endure.
2 other people, 20-year-old Alicia McNeil and 21-year-old Anthony Lowry, are charged with lying to police about what happened. Investigators are waiting on the medical examiner's final report on the little girl's exact cause of death, as her family is left devastated.
What could a 2-year-old do to possibly deserve this? The answer is nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, I'm about to say.
Now, Rick, police also say that Hernandez had other charges. He had a long rap sheet. They say, in fact, when this happened, he was on probation for theft charges out of Bucks County. We're live tonight in South Philadelphia.
And this is the man she decided to... I'm assuming if it was going on and she knew he was... I don't even know. Why isn't the mother charged? Has the mother been being beaten too? Has she been abused? That's the only way I can see that if this happened multiple times, that the mother isn't charged. That's the only possible reason. Because a mother knows. A mother knows. And you have to be one sick son of a to beat a 2-year-old? A 2-year-old. Someone who's just learning what it is, now barely even learning what it is to be in the world. Absolutely crazy. And then the two friends who was with him, also in the house. I'm assuming the friends of the parents, also in the house, knew what was going on, probably seen it happen and lied about it. You see someone you know beating a toddler and you just lie about it. I don't care how close we are. If I see you beating a 2-year-old, I saw it. I seen how many hits. No, matter of fact, I didn't just see it. I stopped it. I'm not just going to tell the police. I would have stopped it. Then called the police. Some demons run wild in the world. Satan has a lot of power here. Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation. Let me know how you feel about it. Absolutely crazy. We're going to pivot over into this next topic. It looks like a Navy sailor has killed 2 of his roommates, or is accused of killing 2 of his roommates. So let's get over into it and see what we can learn from the situation. Did he kill his roommates? That's the main question. Did he kill his roommates? Let's get into it.
Right now at 5, new details are coming to light as we've learned the identity of a man accused of killing 2 people in Orange Park last night. 2 women are dead after Clay County deputies say a U.S. Navy sailor fired 30 gunshots. It happened late last night on Hanging Moss Drive following multiple 911 calls.
News4JAX anchor John Acebus is digging more into who this person is and also spoke with people that were in that neighborhood. John, what have you learned so far about this tragedy?
Well, it's almost a cliche. We say it all the time. It's not a neighborhood where you would expect something like that to happen. And this is exactly one of those neighborhoods. You go from multiple homes with Christmas decorations and then to a front door where I counted 17.
Okay, okay. I might have been a little confused. So he doesn't kill his 2 roommates. He kills 2 roommates in general. Let's keep going, though.
Evidence markers, which are presumably bullet holes. 22-year-old Taylor Lomax, a U.S. Navy sailor, is booked on 2 counts of second-degree murder. Deputies say when they arrived, they found 2 women, 20-year-old Jordan Forestier and 21-year-old Noelle McKinda, shot multiple times in the front yard, both dying at the scene. Deputies say Lomax was still there and was taken into custody. Investigators say that Lomax and the 2 victims all lived together as roommates and all served together in the Navy. Deputies.
So I wasn't wrong?
2 victims all lived together as roommates and also Lomax was still there and was taken into custody. Investigators say that Lomax and the 2 victims all lived together as roommates and all served together in the Navy. Deputies say Lomax's wife came to visit, then got into an argument with the roommates. They say that argument then turned physical outside in the front yard. Deputies say that's when Lomax pulled out a handgun and fired about 30 rounds, hitting both women several times. And we spoke with a lot of people today who could not believe this happened.
I was in bed. I didn't think anything of it. And I just went back to sleep. And then when I got up this morning to go to work, I could barely get out of the driveway because the street was full of cop cars and ambulance and stuff like that.
Deputies say Lomax's wife immediately called 911 to report what happened. She was interviewed and then released. Lomax has been, again, booked on 2 counts of second-degree murder. I'll have more on this story coming up tonight on News4JAX at 6.
So what was the confirmation about? Let's go into this next video and see if we can learn a little bit more details about it.
Tonight, we're learning more about a developing story across 3 counties in the Tampa Bay area. Investigators say a Citrus County woman traveled to Hillsborough and Manatee counties where she shot and killed both of her ex-husbands.
Oh, is this the next one? Hold on. This is the next one. Hold on.
These murders happened.
Next Navy SEAL. I thought I had one more Navy SEAL. Hold on. Yep. So let's get over into this.
NAS Jax Saylor arrested and charged after 2 women were found dead in the front yard of a Clay County home.
And tonight we know the 2 victims were young women, 20 and 21 years old. The Clay County Sheriff's Office saying they also served in the Navy. This all unfolding in the Savannah Glen subdivision on Hanging Moss Drive. That's near the Clay-Duval County line.
Now, the man on your screen here, this is 22-year-old Taylor Lomax. He's charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Our Terry Gilliam is joining us live at the home tonight where this happened. And Terry, neighbors tell you this is the last place they ever expected something like this to happen.
Yes, Anthony, you know, neighbors say this is a neighborhood where people feel safe, which is why last night's shooting is so hard to process. Investigators say it happened just after 11:30, and hours later, investigators are still trying to piece together what led up to the violence. Just after 11:30 last night on Hanging Moss Drive in Clay County, neighbors heard loud noises.
I was walking through the garage and I heard like popping noises, and I'm like, okay, well, I know they're not doing construction. I'm like, it's not fireworks. So I'm like, okay, I heard 2, and I went back in the house and I didn't think nothing of it.
Those sounds were gunshots.
Walked outside and I seen the cops.
The Clay County Sheriff's Office says 3 people lived in this home, including 22-year-old Taylor Lomax. Deputies say Lomax's wife came to the house to visit him. Investigators say an argument broke out in the front yard between the wife and 2 women. That's when deputies say Lomax went inside and grabbed a handgun and fired 30 rounds, killing both women. Green tape now marks bullet strikes on the front door, visible reminders of violence. The sheriff's office says the investigation is ongoing as deputies work to understand what led up to the shooting. For neighbors, the reality is unsettling.
You don't know what's going to happen now. Like, we had a suspect like down the street from us, like a couple of houses down, so that's scary.
Others say their thoughts are with the victims and their families.
This is, you know, supposed to be a beautiful time of the year, and I feel devastated for them.
I feel sorry for the victims.
Yeah, and the Clay County Sheriff's Office says that Taylor Lomax now faces 2 counts of second-degree murder. Live in Clay County, I'm Terry Gilliam, First Coast News, on your side.
And we're hearing from NAS Jax about that deadly shooting. A spokesperson with the Naval Air Station confirming the 2 victims were sailors assigned to the Helicopter Maritime Strike Squadron, adding, quote, "We extend our deepest condolences to the sailors' families, friends, and shipmates during this time." In a separate statement, NAS Jax tells us the suspect was a petty officer 3rd class, also assigned to the strike squadron. They confirmed the Navy is cooperating with local authorities in this investigation.
Absolutely crazy.
Tonight, a woman is speaking out.
Oh my God, we're not getting into that. Let's get over into this article. So a little article to give us a little bit more details about it. So as we see, let's get over into it. So Taylor, 22, has been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder and is being held without bond in the Clay County Sheriff's Department, basically. He allegedly shot a 21-year-old and a 20-year-old. These are the 2 names. I'm not going to try to say them. Nooli, Jordan. You know I'm not good with names. But let's get into the more meat of what happened. What was the argument about? So a fight between the women broke out in the front yard, according to sheriff's deputies, and then when Lomax allegedly grabbed a handgun and fired more than 30 rounds, striking both victims multiple times. Okay, hold on. I missed the part. So according to the sheriff's office, his wife came by to the home shared by Taylor and the 2 victims that night and began arguing with his 2 female roommates. So a fight broke out in the front yard, and that's when he grabbed a handgun and fired more than 30 rounds, striking both victims. So Ashley Durham, whose home is right down the street, has lived in the neighborhood for 15 years. It was just too close to home. Lori's wife is the one who reportedly called 911. And I said Lori, Taylor's wife. So Taylor was arrested and his wife was questioned, but she was released. They started jumping me. A woman who identified herself as Taylor's wife came up to Action News Jake as he was reporting on the story during the 5 p.m. newscast. She said the shots fired by her husband were fired in self-defense. She explained that her husband was protecting her when he shot and killed the women. In the house, they slammed the door, being loud and insinuating that they would beat beat her up, which they were instigating. They were insinuating. See, I'm not good at reading. Insinuating at me because they don't like me. I got out of my bed and said everyone has to get out. So once I said everyone has to get out, I came out on my phone with my mama. They came out and they both said, what's your problem? Y'all have been disrespecting me in my house. Y'all have to go. They said that was the one who hit. So one of them was the one who hit her in the face, and I ended up hitting her back, and we got into a fight. And that's when the other one jumped in, and they started jumping me. That's when my husband fired shots. We had a suspect down the street from us. So the sheriff's office confirmed that the Taylor and the both victims all served in the Navy. I believe that's it. So the main thing, so the confrontation was over. For some reason, the wife I'm assuming they all lived there since that's his wife. So all four of them lived together. And then the wife got mad for some reason, said you all need to leave. When she went outside, she's claiming that they jumped her. They jumped her, started to fight, and that's when the husband came out in self-defense and started shooting 30 rounds at two women who were beating up his wife. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I think it could have been handled different. I'm not sure if they had a gun, had weapons, but it sounds to me it could have been handled differently. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but you see, I don't go, if I see my wife getting into a fight and she's getting jumped, yes, I'm going to jump in and stop the fight. I don't know if I'm a haymaker somebody. It depends on how I'm feeling. I don't think so, but if two women are jumping my wife, I'm definitely going to jump in and break it up. Would I pull out my gun and shoot 30 shots? Probably not. Probably not. As a rational human being, a rational man, I don't think I'll pull out and then shoot 30 shots at both of them, killing them. But that is what his rationale is, and I'm assuming she's going for a self-defense claim. That's what they're going for. Let me know your thoughts on that whole situation, y'all. Is it reasonable that his wife was getting jumped? If his wife was really getting jumped and he pulled out a gun and shot 30 shots at him to stop it, is that reasonable? Or are you like me, we're saying that stopping the fight is reasonable, but you going up and shooting them is not? But that is it for that story. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. It can be the wild, wild west out here sometimes, it seems like. It's a crazy situation. Some people, I feel like some people need help mentally. You can't, I guess it's not right to call people crazy nowadays, but it's a crazy situation. It's a crazy situation. We've been talking about crazy situations all day. But like I said, let me know your thoughts. But we're going to pivot over into the next topic, the last topic we're going to be talking about today. Y'all heard a little bit of it at the end of that one of the last videos we looked at. A woman is being charged with killing her two ex-husbands. Now, I don't know if she killed them. I'm assuming if they were ex-husbands and she killed them, they were already ex-husbands. Not that she killed them and then got a physical divorce, so they became ex-husbands. But you know what I'm saying. I don't know if that can be considered anything at all. But let's get, you know what I'm trying to say. But let's get over into the story and see what this whole situation is about. What can drive a woman to kill both of her ex-husbands? Let's see what it's talking about. And if we can make sense of this situation at all. But let's get over into it. Oh, stop it right quick. Now let's get into it.
Tonight, we're learning more about a developing story across 3 counties in the Tampa Bay area. Investigators say a Citrus County woman traveled to Hillsborough and Manatee counties where she shot and killed both of her ex-husbands. These murders happened yesterday afternoon, and right now, 10 Tampa Bay News reporter Andy Payton joins us live from Tampa. Andy, there are a number of scenes here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You can see one of them behind us here now. Those familiar with the situation tell us this house is where it all started, and neighbors say they could hear it. Tonight, investigators across Hillsborough and Manatee counties are still trying to answer the question why. After 51-year-old Susan Avalon allegedly shot and killed both of her ex-husbands within a 4-hour span.
We don't know why yesterday was the day that
She plotted. She plotted. She plotted. She planned this out. For some reason, she said, yeah, today is the day I'm going to kill both of my ex-husbands. Maybe they know too much. I don't know. But for some reason, she decided today is the day. So that's first-degree murder right there, no matter what.
Both of her ex-husbands within a 4-hour span.
we don't know why yesterday was the day that she decided to take this action.
It all started around 12:40 Wednesday along the 1200 block of East Frierson Avenue in Tampa, where she allegedly shot and killed her ex-husband inside his home. Neighbors we spoke with today saying they heard the gunshots.
And I was sitting back there with my mom and we was eating breakfast, and then we heard one gunshot, and a couple of seconds later we heard 3 more.
Investigators believe Avalon then drove to Chatham Light Run in Bradenton, where she disguised herself as a food delivery driver before knocking on the door of her other ex-husband's house, shooting him as soon as he opened it. He later died at the hospital.
It doesn't get any more brazen than this.
The 51-year-old arrested at her home in Citrus County, where investigators say they watched her try to discard evidence.
Detectives let her know that they are there to speak about her ex-husband. She says, which one?
Tonight, 2 homes broken.
Right now, I think we have about 5 children involved between the 2 ex-husbands.
And the families inside them still trying to understand why.
This is devastating. This is devastating to these families, and I wish she would have been thinking about that before she committed these acts.
Yeah, now Avalon was booked on a second-degree murder charge in Citrus County today. She still faces additional charges in Hillsborough and Manatee. Officials there tell us they are planning to seek the death penalty. We're live in Tampa.
That seems pretty planned out to me. I wonder why they gave her second degree instead of first-degree murder. But let's get over into this next video and see if we learn any more details about it.
New at 5, the Manatee County Sheriff describes this story as bizarre, and he is right. A woman is accused of killing her 2 ex-husbands in 2 separate shootings in 2 separate counties. Fox 13's Ariel Placencia joins us in the newsroom tonight. All right, Ariel, how did this investigation start?
Well, Linda, Manatee County deputies said a woman who was holding a Panera Bread delivery order knocked on her ex-husband's door yesterday afternoon, and then shots were fired. Now, the 2 have been divorced about 10 years, but investigators quickly learned this woman also has a second husband as well.
It doesn't get any more brazen than this.
3 p.m. Wednesday in the Heritage Harbor neighborhood of Bradenton. Manatee County deputies found a man at his home with a gunshot wound, and they asked him,
Who could have done this to you? And he says, possibly my ex-wife.
That man later died at the hospital. But his teenager, who was home at the time of the shooting, told detectives the suspect drove off in a Honda Odyssey. The investigation turned to the victim's ex-wife, Susan Avalon.
The suspect owes the victim about $4,000 that we find out in child support. So she becomes our primary target. And she, ironically, owns a silver Honda Odyssey.
Manatee County
You kill your ex-husband over some child support?
deputies went to Avalon's house in Citrus County, where they reportedly watched the 51-year-old carry bleach out to her Honda Odyssey. Then they approached her.
Detectives let her know that they are there to speak about her ex-husband. She says, which one?
Manatee investigators learned Avalon has another ex-husband who lives in Tampa. So they asked Tampa police to swing by his home, where officers discovered
This second ex-husband has also been shot and killed.
Tampa police confirmed they are investigating a homicide at a home on East Frierson Avenue after the Manatee County Sheriff requested Tampa officers go there for a welfare check. And for now, Susan Avalon has been charged with second-degree murder by the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. But I'm told the sheriff is seeking a first-degree murder indictment through the grand jury process. As for the case itself, surveillance video from Panera Bread and license plate readers played a big role. So we'll dive deeper into that tonight coming up at 6 o'clock, Linda.
Wow.
So Yeah, I was about to say, where does this sounds very planned out. And if you understand first and second degree murder, this first degree is that it was planned, you premeditated murder, basically. So I was wondering why they was going with second degree, because this seems awfully planned to me. But let's get over into an article. Let's see. Let's get into an article and see what we can find out. No matter what, it's a crazy situation. Let's go into this most recent one right here from. So, let's see. Incredibly layered. Officer says that it began around 3 p.m. when deputies were called to a home in Chattanooga. He later, let's see. They reportedly finding a man suffering from a gunshot wound. When he questioned about the shooter, he alleged it might be his ex-wife. He later succumbed to his injuries. The investigation led to Avion, whatever you say his name is, who lived in Curtis County, one of them. Witnesses told WCSO that they saw her emerge from the home carrying bleach and cleaning supplies. So yeah, it seems like everything we already know. Let me see if there's anything else. People's usually real good. So People 45 minutes ago left this. Let's see. So a Florida woman has been arrested in connection with the death of her ex-husband and is under investigation in the fatal shooting of another ex-husband on the same day. So she's 51 years old. She is in connection with the death of her 54-year-old man whose name has not been released. Authorities responded to the Florida residence Wednesday, found a man with a gunshot wound. On Wednesday evening, authorities arrested her about 125 miles away from Manatee County. According to the sheriff's statement at the news conference, investigators learned that she grabbed Panera soup from a nearby store without paying for it. So she stole the soup and showed up at the victim's door. Matching information provided by the victim's teen daughter, who described a vehicle and an individual outside the residence. They tracked her down to her at her residence. They say saw her carrying bleach. Police claim that when they approached her, she said, "Which one?" We know all this. This prompted authorities to check the second husband, so we know all that. It was immediately clear if Avion has been arrested or facing charges, it wasn't immediately clear what kind of charges she was facing in Tampa. Okay, so we know everything pretty much about the whole situation. But what is the reason she killed her? We had a little sneak peek of what it was talking about, where she owed, it could have been over owing some money. I highly doubt that, but some people are crazy. Some people are crazy. Just because I doubt that with my sane mind doesn't mean this woman didn't actually want to kill her husband over some back child support. But we don't know the situation. We don't know everything yet. It could have been I'm trying to think of a scenario where I was going to say like PTSD from her being abused, but killing both husbands, unless both of them abused, there's no reason for that. I still wouldn't think that killing someone should be the reason, but end of the day, seems like she needs 2 first-degree murder charges. 2 first-degree murder charges. Life in jail. That's what's going to come out of that. But I would like to hear the reason why she killed her 2 ex-husbands, or why did she decide on that day that she was going to go through and murder both of her ex-husbands? Were they in the way? Was she angry about them owing her something? There's a lot of possibilities. But it's a crazy situation. She stole Panera bread to kill one of them, and then just flat out shot the other one. And if the ex-husband, one of them, already knew that you would be the suspect, like when the police asked, he immediately thought of you, that marriage must have been wild. But hopefully we find out more information about it and see what all the situation was about. But absolutely crazy situation no matter what. Let me know your thoughts on that, y'all, and let me know if y'all disagree with anything I said. Absolutely crazy situation. But that's why we got to review the world together, y'all. We have to review the world together. I'm going to say that all the time. Because the world is a crazy place. People are crazy. Not everybody's crazy, but we got to admit that some people are crazy. But we have to be sane, and we have to review these situations together and just figure out how to move forward. It's an absolutely crazy world we live in, but we got to review it. We have to see what we're talking about. But it was a beautiful Friday, y'all. We went over a lot of crazy things. Let's go through the summary like I like to do. So we talked about the Sterling High School 18-year-old young man who killed a 16-year-old young man over a $21 vape. Stabbed him with the victim's own scissors. Then we go into 3 people who have been charged for the murder of a 2-year-old. The boyfriend of the mom, likes to beat kids. Where was the father at? And then we got a Navy sailor who, I guess in self-defense of his wife, who was getting jumped by 2 female sailors, decided to let off 30 shots, killing 2 female sailors, Navy sailors. And then lastly, we talked about this woman, 51-year-old woman who kills both of her ex-husbands by shooting them. One by pretending to be a delivery driver, and the one just by pulling up. Absolute crazy world we live in, y'all. But let me know your thoughts on it. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said during this situation. Absolutely crazy, y'all. But that is it for the show today. Thank you for watching now. Thank you for watching later. We got to review the world together, y'all. We have to review it together. These videos will be broken down, so you can go back and watch the one you really like. But remember, y'all, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you can be up to date on all the videos. But that is it for now, y'all. It's the end of the week, so you know what that means. I see y'all on Monday. See y'all on Monday, y'all, at 6 o'clock. But that's it for now, y'all. Peace.